Welcome to the Lindsay and Tony podcast, where we talk about spirituality, business, and life experiences.
In this podcast, we're bringing our private conversations to you.
We believe that it's through discussion, action, and reflection that true change occurs.
Hi everybody, welcome to episode 71, the 3 keys to create environments that allow miracles to occur. In this episode, we talk about the power of your environment and how you can be a co-creator in allowing the space for miracles to occur for you and everybody around you. I hope you enjoy this show.
Hi guys, welcome back. We're so excited that you're here. Today we're talking about the 3 keys to create an environment that allows miracles to occur. And Tony and I have been talking about this whole topic for the past couple months, right?
Absolutely, yeah, and how it translates to every area of our life and not just our business. Because I spent a lot of time in my business trying to figure out who am I, what am I doing, how do I do this? And once I came to this realization that everything I'm doing in my life is to create environments that allow miracles to occur. And I think that's what you're doing too, whether you know it or not.
Right. And I think that sometimes in business, actually all the time, business and in life, there's patterns that come up. And when we recognize this on how similar Tony and I were in business and personal life, separate from being in a marriage, we started to realize how much that actually transformed our intention, or actually engraved the intention of what we're doing in everyday life.
Absolutely. It gives you a clarity and a purpose to where you know, like, whatever you're doing right now matters. It's not just, am I on the clock or am I off the clock? It's what you're doing matters. If there's a human being in front of you or with you, which there always is because you are one too, it matters.
Right. And I think it's easy to kind of sit back in life and observe. And I believe in observing because I'm definitely an observer. I've always been an observer. But if you can really take ownership that when you walk into a room, you have a responsibility. You're going to either stay quiet and not say anything. And maybe you want to be quiet during that moment. Maybe you really want to speak up, but you're holding back because you see other people sharing and you think, oh, I'll just let them speak. But you're adding energy and your essence into a space, and that's important.
Absolutely, and I think it's very important for what Lindsay just said, and to really use your intuition to sense, wait, the environment I'm in right now, is this an environment that feels like something that will have the space that allows the miracles to occur? That, in other words, that allows me to be myself, that allows everybody here in this environment to be themselves. And if it's not, then you just start to adjust a little bit. And sometimes that's going to call for you to be the leader. And maybe you don't feel like you want to be that person that's leading the environment, but that's where we get out of our own way. And we realize there's times that we need to lead, there's times to where we need to follow, and there's times to where we need to adjust accordingly to what our intuition is telling us, so that way we can create these types of environments.
Yeah. And it's making me think of, even when I was little, I was really quiet because I didn't feel comfortable having the spotlight. Even up until now, there's moments where I'd rather be in the background, but I'm better at times one-on-one with people, unless I'm teaching, because I have like my teacher hat on. Like I'm going to lead the students, but I'm also going to receive from them too. But there is a balance between that moment. And I think we're going to touch on that really the keys and how to provide this space, because you don't need to be considered someone that teaches on a certain topic in order to hold the energetic space. You could be a person that's a car salesman, or you can be a mechanic or a cashier, whatever it is, you're holding a space. Like if you're here on earth, you're holding a space. There's a responsibility here.
Absolutely. And another thing to take into consideration is leading is not always loud. I know Lindsay's one of the most quietest leaders I've ever met in my life, meaning like her energy's not loud, but it's loud. It actually is. It's loud, but it's not loud in the way I'm talking about, to where leading is not always like, hey everybody, I'm the leader here going on. It's more like you feel the energy coming out of you, rather like it's hard to describe. I'm not going to try to describe it here, but just keep in mind that And leading is not always loud. Sometimes it could look like very quiet. It could, somebody could lead a whole room without saying one word.
Yeah. And sometimes it's more powerful to do that. But it depends on your personality. It depends on who you are. So just being yourself and doing that is
That's
important.
it. And the context of the situation. Like whatever situation you're in, that's why this is part of like, let's put away who we think we are and let's just allow spirit to come through, and then you'll start to see that you're a lot more than what you've ever realized. I know that I've started to realize that about me.
Yeah.
Lindsay's realized that about
both of us had similar mindsets during childhood, where sometimes around certain people we would stay quiet because we felt uncomfortable in that space, or we held back. And then in other situations we were more talkative. So we both had that similarity. And it's about reflection to figure that out too.
Absolutely. If any of you ever felt that way, put it in the comments below, or however that is on iTunes, however that works. So let's go into the 3 keys that create an environment that allow miracles to occur, that allow what we're talking about right here to occur. So number 1 is
intention. I use intention in every area of my life, whether it's business, personal life, relationships, whatever it is. The intention of what I want, something, the energy behind it, my focus for that is so important. But staying very clear on, okay, what is my intention for this purpose? So just say we get in the car, we start driving to someone's house. We're going to a family party, or we're going to a friend's house. What's the intention as you're driving there? What's your focus? What do you want to take place? Do you want to feel peaceful? Do you want to I don't even know another example. What the
you
intention
want to
would
feel
be
like
for-
you could be yourself, like
Yeah.
what everybody wants, right? You want to feel good. You want to feel peaceful. You want to feel like you could be yourself. You want to feel like your friends could be yourself. That is, we're talking to somebody that wants all of these things. There are some people out there that actually, for some reason, want the opposite in this moment, but we're not talking about those people. We're talking to you. So the people that want all of these things.
Yeah, the
right?
feelings.
All of these feelings, not things, these feelings. So it's the intention, it's the clarity. I think it's the clarity. Like, I know everybody's heard this before, and I heard this so many times over the last 10, 11 years. Clarity is power. You have to have clear intentions. You could attract everything. And I'm realizing the truth of this. The more clear you get with the intention of wherever you're going, the more that you can allow this space to occur. So what really helped me get clear on this was a course that we took. And I keep bringing it up because if you haven't taken this course, you really should. It's called the Knowledge Business Blueprint. If it fits for you, if you're somebody that wants to extract knowledge from yourself and share it with the world, I would look into that course. It's by Tony Robbins and Dean Graziasi. I think I said his name right this time. But it's amazing, and it's just a little tool that they have in there, and it helped me get very clear on why I do what I do. And I've shared this on other podcast episodes, but it's worth sharing over and over, I believe, because it helped me get clear that my main purpose. So I thought the reason why I did things, and this is part of it, was because I want to impact my family. I want to impact my nephews and nieces. I want to be able to live how I want to live. I want all of these different things, and this tool that I did in this course, which is now going to be it's in Lindsay's course too now. So a lot of her students, they have access to this tool. It's my students are going to have access to it. It's called you call it a lot of different things, but 7 levels deep or 10 levels deep of why. You figure out why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I got clear on this to where I realized, wait, all of these different things I'm doing, I want to have a safe environment that allows people to be themselves. Because I know that when people are themselves, miracles start to occur.
And that's your why.
And that's
because other people, if you're listening to this, you're going to have a different why.
Yeah, you're going to have a totally different, and it's going to be articulated in a different way. But for me, this helped me get very clear about my intention. Now my intention when I wake up, it went from so I used to do this phrase over and over for years. How can I impact people's lives to the highest degree possible? You remember me asking that question over and over. I made videos about it. I've been doing this for years. It changed to how can I create environments that allow miracles to occur for people? And to me, that resonated at a deeper level, and that gave me way more clarity. So I'm sharing this with you because the more that you dig into why you're doing what you're doing, whether it's using the tool I talked about or whatever works for you, the more you will start to see clarity and the more you'll start to have purpose in every environment that you're in, and the more intentional that you could be about it. And I found that the more intentional I became with this, the more I became a leader, and the more miracles and the more the Holy Spirit or the universe started to come through in these environments.
Yeah. Maybe you can give an example of one of the things that took place. Because I feel like there's
Yeah, like just recently with my birthday party.
That's what I was thinking of. Your birthday party. Because
it was unbelievable. What were you gonna say?
No, I'm just thinking, birthdays. I'm really big on birthdays. Tony's like, oh, it's another day, but I'm big on birthdays. I feel like it's really important because it's just a reminder of who is around you for that moment, and the people that you love are there, and you're just in the energy of. It's just a different energy than a regular day to me. That's what I feel. But I always want Tony's birthday to be special. And I feel like this year it was awesome. And I feel like there's a bunch of people. We're in St. Louis actually right now. We're with Tony's family and we're seeing everyone. And we got everyone in the room. And somehow Tony, of course, this would happen to Tony. Tony somehow manifested everyone in the gym on his birthday at night. What time was it in the morning? Like 1 in the morning?
Well, we started at like 11:40 p.m. I looked at the time right when we went in. I was like, cool, we're still making this happen on my birthday.
Yeah, and if you know anything
stayed
about
like an hour
Tony,
or so.
Yeah, if you know anything about Tony, you know that he lives to have fun like a kid and work out and move his body. He doesn't like sitting still. It's more of like being in that energy. And it's so funny that everyone in that room, how old were the littlest
Anywhere
one
from
was
3 to
50-something.
50-something. And people that don't even work out sometimes, there's all kinds of people in there. And the whole point was, I wanted that.
Yeah.
My intention was to have an environment that allows miracles to occur for people. Not, I didn't want an environment, I don't care about drinking no more. I don't care about, I'll go have a couple drinks here and there. I'll do all of that. But I don't care, I know that when I'm in certain environments, things could happen, and in other environments, other things happen. And
we drank and we went to the gym.
We did. We had a couple of drinks, went to the gym, and it was I feel like this is just another example of you creating your own life, you know? So what looks like miracles to me is going to look different to you, and what looks like, a space for you to be yourself, maybe the exact opposite space that allows me to be myself. Like a basketball court, I really am my authentic self. So I've spent so much time there. It's very comfortable to me. Different situations. So I think the goal here too is also to get clear on what environments do this for you, because if you're in the environments that do this for you, now you could pull other people into those environments and you get allowed to do them for them too.
And I think the biggest shift, it sounds so oh, they went to the gym. That's fun, but that's nothing important. No, it was actually important because the setting of this space was, you could see the shift in energy. It's not like we're sitting there and working out for an hour. I probably got on the machine for 2 minutes, but it was the energy and the high vibration of the space, having everyone in one room. And even if it was 2 seconds that someone lifted a weight, you could see the shift in energy, and some of the people there hadn't worked out in years. So it was just moving energy and being able to have fun and have fun in a good way too. And
the thing is, when you bring big groups of people like this together and you're bold in your actions and you're vulnerable and you're all of this, that's, I think, what the universe really loves.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's go to number 2, openness.
Yeah.
This is a huge one that really just happened to me the other day, which I'll share, but did you have something that you want right away?
Well, I was just going to say, so intention is the focus and getting clear on what it is that you really want, but also there's an important key point to that you stay detached from the outcome. Mm-hmm. So you set that intention of saying, this is my focus, this is what I want, I'm open, and then next is I'm open to receive the miracles. So sometimes we put this stipulation on how we want things to go, but it goes in a totally different direction. Stay open to that and don't try to control the situation when you're in it. Allow things, well, that's the next one too, but be open to receive it in different ways that maybe you didn't expect.
Right, because first we have to be open, and then the next part comes, which you were going to.
Which we actually had the idea that night that we were going to cook and barbecue outside. We got all this food. I was racing around to the grocery store at night to cook, and then we came back and the pool was closing in 5 minutes. So our idea was we were going to go swimming.
True.
And that was going to be the miracle. We were going to have fun and go swimming at night, swimming and have food, but it didn't happen that way. It shifted.
The security guard came out and he's like, we close up in 10 minutes. We're like, oh man.
So we shifted the party inside. People played pool. We ate. We had drinks, and then we went to the gym.
Yeah, it was simple as that. We looked to our right after the security guard said no, and I saw a pool table in like a little clubhouse area. Nobody was using it, surprisingly, on the 4th of July with all these people here.
We could have left totally. We could have left and went to a bar, but we stayed.
Absolutely. So it's
open.
like knowing that when you put this intention out, like the universe has your back. Like there's books written about that, I think with the exact title. Because it does. Like everybody knows that God has your back. The universe has your back. So once you're in alignment, you're doing this, you set the intention, trust that whatever's happening is meant to happen.
Yeah.
Because you're living it, and that's proof. And then the openness, I'll give you another story. So openness, this just happened 2 or 3 days ago. We were playing basketball with my brother Mark, and another kid came he's from the inner city of St. Louis, and he plays college basketball in Texas. I just met him that night. Well, I didn't know him at this point. Me and my brother Mark had already been playing basketball for an hour and a half, and I had worked out all day that day with my nephews and nieces. I was exhausted. I was sitting down with Lindsay. We were about ready to leave the park. I was thinking in my mind. And then my brother Mark, I hear him asking the kid, hey, do you want to play bucket? Which that's like everybody versus himself. And then I hear him say, Tony, you want to play too? And I'm like, oh man. I'm like, I'm tired. But then I followed the nudge. I knew like when the iron's hot, you take it, like you feel it and you go towards it, even if your mind doesn't, your ego mind doesn't want you to do it. So I did it. I ended up having such a deep connection with the new kid that we met. So I'm not gonna share his name because I don't.
Yeah.
But we connected deeply. He grew up in the inner city. He had just had a friend. I don't know if it was like within the last year or 2 years. I could tell it was recent, but he shared it with me that he was murdered. And he was just trying to get out of St. Louis to create his life, and it was very powerful. You guys heard me talk about Nipsey Hussle in here. He was coming through during that moment. Nipsey Hussle's mission is to impact inner city kids. That's part of his mission. It's to impact the world, really. But those of you who know who Nipsey Hussle is, which I didn't when he was alive, and if you don't know the story, go watch our other podcast episode of how I connected with him after he passed away. It's unbelievable. I still can't believe it happened. But it was just part of it. And it started with me staying open in that moment to be like, okay, my ego doesn't want me to do it, but I'll do it.
Exactly. And I love that story. And it's something that I don't know how to put it into words. I just knew something was happening on the basketball court. I was watching. I'm like, I'm so curious to know what they're talking about. But you could feel the shift in energy just from that conversation. So I feel like the three of you were supposed to be in each other's life at that very moment. So there was something that took place. Whether everyone realized it or not, something shifted. So
number 3
is allowing. So what do you have to say about the allowing piece?
I look at this part as like, get out of your own way. Allow something else to come through you. Quit thinking that you have to give all the answers. And look, I told myself this over the years. I thought, I can just give people a workout 3 days a week, do all this, which that's part of it. The details are part of it, but don't go into any environment, whether you're coaching somebody, a mediumship, don't go into it with an agenda. Go to it with, if your agenda is anything, have it be to allow spirit, something else, whatever you want to call it, to come through and allow it to do what it does.
Yeah. And I think the perfect example of that is if you're going into a space and your intention is you want it to be peaceful or you want people to have that permission to be themselves, sometimes not talking and allowing them to talk is healing. So I found sometimes going into environments where sometimes people won't talk about their feelings. I know this just happened to us the other day. We were talking to someone and they started opening up about personal things that were coming up, a lot of pain that was in their life, and they shared that they had never shared that with anyone. They were just sharing it with us. And we were just the listeners holding the energetic space for them to share their heart. And there was something that took place. So anyone can do this. It's not just like, oh, me and Tony did that. No, anyone can do it. So when you're allowing, sometimes you're not speaking. You're just allowing things to take place in your energy field. So just know that the next time that you have a conversation with someone.
Absolutely.
So we hope this episode helped you. So the next time that you actually leave your house, or you are in the presence and you maybe move rooms and shift to another room, and you're in a space with your husband or your daughter or son or friend or whoever it is, or maybe in a public place, think about that your essence and your energy is permeating throughout this space, and you can actually allow miracles to occur in your presence. It's happening every day, but becoming aware of it is that much more powerful.
Yeah, and for a lot of you listeners that are like Lindsay and I, maybe you're introverted and you're like, well, you guys could do it. You're maybe you don't know we're introverted because it looks like to you that we're just talking all the time because you're watching our podcast. But understand, this doesn't matter. None of that matters. The only thing that matters is you just being your unique self. And if you're doing that, good. Keep doing that.
Exactly. So share with us any situations that come up for reflections or awareness that, oh, that happened. I didn't even realize it until I listened to this episode. Or share with us any kind of experiences you've had with that energetic space. Okay, guys. Well, we will see you on the very next episode. Bye.
Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we did. If you liked it, leave a 5-star review on iTunes, and remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel too.
If you can think of anyone else that would love this episode, share it with them right now on social media or email. And remember, getting results is a process of learning, applying, and reflecting. Stay consistent and continue to grow every day.